Okay, Jay Clark here. We are on an epic dual sport adventure. We are with Speed and Sport Adventures, and we're in Utah, Heber City, Park City area. Goes all over kind of those mountains, and it's in August. And I don't know how they did it again, but last year they did it and got rain, and somehow they did it again. So somehow, these thunderstorms you can't count on them, but they got some epic conditions. So this ride is put on. Ken Fox, the guy that helps organize, is the main guy that puts on this Speed and Sport adventures, and it's a top-notch deal. This isn't for everyone. He's catering to the higher-end guys, and it's mainly vet guys. When I say vet, most of them are over 40 into their 60s, 40 to 65, right? We got kind of the main range. Spencer's for sure the young one. They do have some younger guys that are trail guides. They have very good trail guys. People run and sweep. First of all, this thing is just top notch. As you can see with a lot of the pictures, it's at an epic house. It's at this log cabin house that's supposed to be the largest log cabin in the U.S. or something. It's like their notoriety, and just really cool, fun place to stay and play in between rides. The riding is 3 days, then you have a day on each side of that, and then you leave. So it's Monday through Friday. Riding Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is how they have it set up on this trip. Totally fun. Epic food. They got, everything's first class. So you got everything really nice. Most everybody brings their own bike. They do have bikes that you can rent in addition to doing the ride. But as we know, even by self, most people want to have their own bike that's set up for them, their bars, their suspension, everything, so they feel comfortable with it. Especially when they're riding. A lot of these guys out here riding are coming from different parts of the country and aren't used to riding this kind of terrain, so they want to be comfortable on their bike. And one of the cool things about these rides is that they bring a few off-road and motocross legends. Like we got Guy Cooper, Destry Abbott, many-time off-road champion. We got him out here helping out. And so these guys come out, help out with the ride, and they're just having fun. They're going so slow for their speed just to stay with everybody and have fun. And then you got Travis Whitlock, who's a hill climb champion. He's helping lead trail. His wife is running sweep, which is really cool. And so the days are set up a little different. First day's a little harder, get all that single track out of you, and then they got some more adventures on more dual sport stuff on roads and dirt roads. And you stop at nice lunch stops or just epic, food. I don't know if I could eat any more food throughout these days at all the places we've stopped. So pretty fun on that side of things. So this kind of trip, as you can see with a lot of the footage, and both of the EXCs that I brought street legal EXCs in this trip so that when we're on the road that we're fully legit and we have some really good bikes. I've got our 450 EXC, and then this right here is our 350 EXC that we just did a while back with Dirt Rider, and the thing's awesome. We're using OnX to map our routes, which is really fun. And I forget how good the EXCs are because I ride our XCFs off-road. This EXC, when you kind of do a lot of the mods that we've done to this one, fully capable, and even Spencer coming off and saying the same thing, like, hey, this thing's as good or better than our XCFs on the trail. Also, you don't have that linkage hanging down. We did some big raw logs. You don't get stuck on those logs going over, which is really nice. So I feel like at 53, I'm a little old for a lot of the single track we're doing. Spencer and I go at a good pace. We've ridden some of these trails in some of these areas that you can see throughout this trip. And as you can see from some of the scenery, it's just incredible. Going by lakes and just incredible. So for me, is dual sporting the best overall riding experience? And I think for so many people that are especially in the 40 to 70-year-old range, I have to say so. As much as I love motocross and I love trail riding, dual sporting allows you to be able to kind of bridge those. You can connect and just do small pieces of single track that you want to do, ride some roads, connect those, skip maybe the single track areas that are a little tougher that you want to skip, and ride the fun stuff, and stick to some asphalt, some dirt roads, and then do a bits of single track. And I think dual sporting just does just that. And so it's just pretty epic. As you can see with a lot of these photos and videos we have, it's pretty incredible. Okay, so now I am with the founder of Speed and Sport Adventures. And this is Ken Fott, I've known for almost 30 years, I would say, in that range. What made you, after a long time of kind of being away from this part of things, to want to get into putting on these kind of rides and stuff?
Well, I've always been involved in motorcycling. I did step away for a little while doing, from the professional side, doing pole position raceway.
Yeah.
And this is a passion project. This is something I want to do. I traveled around the world a lot when we had TV shows at the magazine. Went to like Australia, New Zealand, Costa Rica, Peru, Zimbabwe, a lot. So what I did is I took all the cool elements, my favorite, put it together. I mean, how crazy is that? 27,000 square foot house. We've got helicopters. We're riding in our riding gear,
And he somehow scheduled 2 years in a row to have rain. So the trails are fairly wet for up here in the mountains. It's pretty rare. I don't care where you're at, Colorado, anywhere, Montana, Idaho. It's tough to get wet trails for your big ride that you schedule out. So
we've been very, very fortunate with the timing of it, and it can't get any better.
No,
I mean it's
perfect weather. We've had perfect weather, so it's been really cool. One of the things that you guys cater to is that it's more of a fun deal with a big demographic of riders. I found out today there's 4 sets of father-sons on this trip.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. Me and Spencer, and then there's 3 other sets. And so it's kind of fun.
We had people drive from New York, from Rhode Island.
New York.
All over the place.
Yeah.
Canada
was so an 18-hour drive.
It's been impressive.
Yeah.
So
and when's the next event that anybody can check out?
So we're going to be doing Baja Ride.
Okay.
So it starts in Ensenada, or you can start in a cruise ship in Long Beach.
Okay.
Cruise down, to Ensenada, get off the port, in your gear.
Is that this fall? When is that one?
That's in April this year. Then we're going to be doing.
So next day in April. Okay.
Yep. And then next August we're going to do the 3rd annual Legends Ride here.
Here. Okay.
A week later, we're going to do an adventure bike ride up here. Totally different type experience.
I think adventure bikes would be really fun up here because there's so many cool. And that's one of the things Spencer and I have learned on this trip is we've gotten away. We haven't done as much single track as we would do. We get on, and it's amazing. I told Spencer we got to come back to some of these roads because there's a lot of really good dirt roads that you can see some epic stuff at. And so adventure bikes would be a really fun one.
Yeah, I think so.
You're trying to get Grant to come? He likes adventure bikes.
Yep, no, absolutely.
Right.
If he didn't have his knee problems,
he'd be here.
He would be here, and we almost had Damon Bradshaw.
All right.
He had a Yamaha event on the East Coast.
Well, this has been a blast. You guys have seen we had Destry here, Guy Cooper, some of our legends, and it's been a blast. A lot of really cool things. And your guys' staff. You got this staff that you have that's like, hey, Spencer, let's just pan over and show a quick little lunch stop. That's what a lunch stop looks like right there. So now, Spencer and I usually stop and have a granola bar and some gummy bears, the kids' snacks.
So we have a 1-to-1 staff ratio. Think about that. 1 person for every guest, on the ride. And it's a pretty eclectic mix, but it's working out quite well.
That's awesome. So anyway, awesome time. So we'll check out the rest of our video. Enjoy. Thanks, Ken.
Thanks for coming out.
All right, we're still on our ride with Speed Sport Adventures, and how would you? It's hard for me to even wrap my head around this, but I'm able right now to interview Tim McGraw, and I thought it'd be pretty fun to get him up here. Anyway, it's Travis Whitlock. He's a 18-time hill climb champion.
16.
I was close.
Yeah, 16-time 3 world, and then a few other things in there too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So he's a hill climb champion. So what was funny was my son didn't quite know who you were, but he's following you and everything. He's like, guy goes pretty good. I'm like, I think he's a pretty good rider, because if you can ride, any size bike up a hill really fast and with long swing arms, that's pretty gnarly. Which events do you like the best or involved with at all?
Yeah, we with the NAHA, our association, we have a series that travels the states here, and we go to California, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, and the Washington Hill has a lot of jumps in it, but the last part of this hill is steep, straight up, a lot of road gaps. Same with Boise, the hill climb, the Big Nasty in Idaho is definitely a hill climb hill with ledges, and you start at the bottom and you go. You don't have a big start.
We got to get to one. I do like the ones that start at the bottom and you got that blocker cage thing. What do you call that? Backstop.
The backboard, yeah.
Backboard. That's those right there. It's just up. And it's so cool. Anyway, but now we got off topic a lot. We want to get on. You've been kind of the trail master, trail guide for this ride, which has been awesome. You set up these trails. I know you went and pre-rode some of these, made a plan, and you've done it a couple years. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Speed Sport and Adventure called about 3 years ago and asked if I was interested in doing a little guide with some people on a dual sport ride. So I was all in, and so because the mountains of Utah are just amazing and they're beautiful, and so I took him up on it, and we did some adventures last year and did some scouting, and then we had a great time last year, and this year is twice as big. It's a great turnout. It's a big group of people, but it's amazing. The ability of the riders they're all this real close to the same, so we're able to get out here and enjoy a lot of like day one, we had a pretty gnarly day. We had a lot of single track, about 60 miles of nothing but single track and challenging stuff, rocks and mud, rock gardens and river crossings and long hops. So day one was definitely pretty challenging, but day two, today we kind of relaxed a bit, and we're
but even the dirt roads are still fun and amazing views everywhere. Sometimes I have to stop looking at the views to concentrate on following him.
And that's why we did what we did today. Is you get to see Utah, you get to see over the ridge, over the top. You get on top of a mountain, you get to see everything. So a little laid back day today, and then tomorrow we're going to hit another pretty hardcore single track at the end of the day to icing on the cake kind of a deal. And we're having a good time, and everybody's doing great. So
it's good. Also, his wife rides sweep. His daughter's riding. Daughter's boyfriend, fiance, is riding. The whole family ride, and both your wife and daughter ride really well. So and yourself. So it's been really cool. Your whole family's like, all the guys in the group are all amazed. They're like, wow, so that's been cool.
It is fun to have the family here, and that's what this is all about, right? Is having a good time with your friends and your family, and that's how I was raised. My dad and mom brought us up riding motorcycles, and it's a great family sport, and it's really fun to have my wife here. She's the sweeper, making sure everybody's taken care of back there, and Alexa's definitely helping out, and Braxton, if we need to send another group of people on an alternate route, he's taking care of it. So, we're fortunate to be up here helping and having a good time with everybody, all the customers, and with Destry and Guy. It's great to ride with those guys. It's fun to get out there and beat some bars here and there, but it's been a great time.
Oh, it's for sure. So anyway, thanks for doing a good job on the trails, and we'll get back to our video.
Brilliant.
I'll come over there and hold it. Here we go. It's our trail. This is a pretty big group on this, and they're breaking it out, breaking some groups off, but they got like 30 people on this ride, which has its pros and cons. We've talked about that in other videos where we talk what's the good number. Spencer and I, we ride just the two of us a lot. 3 or 4, one or two other guys is kind of nice. We're okay with that. Usually any more than that, we're tapped out. In this kind of situation, it's a little different because it's kind of a little bit more happy-go-lucky, just fun. Guys like Destry and Guy Cooper, they're riding way slower than their abilities, and they're able to enjoy themselves. So you can go on these trips even if you're like at a novice level, and no one's gonna make fun of you for not making it up there. Gonna help you. I got some footage of Destry riding another guy's bike up the hill and stuff, and Spencer helped ride a guy's bike up. So everybody's gonna help you out. So this ride, most everyone's on an EXC or a Husky FE type bike, and they're just really good all around bikes. There's guys on 10 and 11-year-old EXCs, and they're doing just fine with those older bikes. Guy Cooper's on an older bike, and just fine. I mean, shoot, this bike's 5 years old now, and it's just fine. So I think this one's new, but it's only new because I fixed it up. But it's an 18, right? So It's getting pretty old. So anyway, these bikes are awesome on the trails. Speed and Sport Adventures, pretty fun deal. As you can see, you got they like to add in a lot of high-dollar fun adventure with really fancy meals on the trail, helicopter rides, And as you can see at the house, you got a pool, you got the swing, there's a lake down there with boats, and so many things that you could do beyond that. I don't know how much most people were really, especially the vet guys, are that capable of doing much of those fun things after the ride, other than eating and resting for the next day. So, but a fun blast of a ride. If somebody's looking for an epic dual sport ride, I'd say find a dual sport ride in your area, or check out Speed and Sport Adventures. All right, we'll see you later.
OnX Offroad, nowhere to go with the #1 GPS app. Access 500,000 miles of trails and roads, open dates and public lands. The elite version even shows landowners and property boundaries. Download the OnX Offroad app. To save 20%, use the discount code DBTV1.